Welcome back to the channel. What you're looking at behind me is my 1964 Impala. Some of you may know, some of you may not. This was my first car that my dad helped me buy at the age of 13 back in 1998. We paid $1,500 for this car and it had been sitting for like 12 years. We brought it back to the shop, put Marvel mystery oil in the cylinders, let it set for a couple of days, rebuilt the distributor, and this thing fired right off. So at the age of 13, I'm driving this thing around the neighborhood because back then you could get away with it. The neighborhood was big, it was quiet, and it was just more forgiving back then. So this was actually the first car I ever drove. I'd pop my buddies in it. We'd go just down the street. We'd go a couple of back roads and then come right back. And it was a great time. My parents fell on hard times and had to sell it. And they sold it to a friend of theirs where it sat in a barn for like 17 years. And then it got sold again to someone else, and I actually lost track of the car for a little bit. And I was in the body shop when I was working for Mike Finnegan. We were having the Roadkill ramp truck painted. And I went there to work on the truck one day, and this car was sitting next to it. I walked in, I was like, what the hell is my car in here for? Oh, man, have I missed that car. And I talked to the owner, and it was his brother, the owner of the body shop. His brother is the one who bought the car and brought it up there to have some work done to it. I couldn't believe it. So it had been up there for a couple of years, and he decided to sell it and gave me first dibs at it, and I jumped on it. I paid way more than $1,500 for it, but it was a sentimental thing, and I absolutely love the car. So we just got it back running again. My buddy Jeff came over and helped me put the interior back together because they had the dash painted and had it all torn apart. And we put the carpet in it, put the seats back in it, seat belts, all that stuff, and put most of the dash back together. I'm missing the radio and a couple of other pieces, but I'll locate that stuff later. But for now, it is running and driving. I did a tune-up on the engine, put way too nice of stuff in there. It was stuff I literally had sitting on the shelf because I didn't want to go buy a bunch of random stuff when I have stuff that will work just sitting here. I tried to put an HEI in it, and it turned out to be junk, and it was also really close to the firewall. The plug wires were all like jammed up against the cap. I didn't really like it, so I put a smaller distributor in there. And right now, we're about to take this thing for a drive up the road just to show you guys how nice and quiet and good this thing runs and drives. All right, we're tinkering with the 64. I've had the battery on charge, but it didn't really take a charge, so I got my jump box hooked to it. I need to go get a fresh battery. I've turned it over just a little bit, and it immediately pulled fuel up. It doesn't look great, but I just want to see if it'll light off. I don't know how long it's been sitting. The booster and the master cylinder here, the master was completely bone dry, so I put some fluid in it. We're going to bleed the brakes here soon because I want to move it over to the lift and actually check everything. And I got to fix the alignment also because it's kind of slightly off. He lowered the car and never fixed the alignment, so we got to address that. But I don't know, turn it over and see what happens. All right, so he's pumping fuel up in there. Hold please. I don't know that it's firing. Give it a shot. Try to pull a plug and see if it's firing. We got wires all under the dash. We had the dash apart to paint it. I don't know if something other is preventing the ignition from firing or what, but we gotta sort that. Well, only thing we can do is pull a plug and see if it's firing. All right, we weren't getting any spark, so I had a spare coil. We threw it on there. May have to replace the condenser. Everything in the distributor looks new, so I don't know. Give it a shot, see what happens. The battery.
your pad's got some junk on it, but...
Oh yeah, I'm not a body guy, dude. I don't know what I'm doing. There's no telling what's on that pad.
Well, I know.
Completely unnecessary. But this little 283 has an MSD Digital 6 Plus box, a Pro Billet distributor, MSD Blaster 3 coil, all in the name of getting it running with parts I had laying around. And man, it runs good. I just pulled it out of the shop for the first time. Where's my lights work? My lights work. Nothing on the dash works though. That's weird. Gotta fix that. Got turn signals? Out there I do. Got nothing in here. And the brakes work good. Good Lord. It's got power steering, power brakes. Man, I'm about to take it up the road. It's midnight. I got headlights. I'm doing it. Man, this thing rides good. I'm not used to this. It's all quiet. Well, I don't have tail lights. That sucks. So we got some wiring to figure out. Got a headlight out, got a parking light out. Man, the power steering, the power brakes, the ride itself. Damn, this car rides good. Complete opposite of 57. So I cannot wait to take this on Power Tour. It's gonna be a nice ride. All right, here we go. Ready? Be spilling that in this nice interior. Oh, this car's so nice. Let's go for a cruise. Ignore what's going on here. I shaved my beard and nobody likes it, including myself, so I look like an idiot, more so than I normally do. So this will grow back rather quickly. And I'll never do this again. I apologize. First thoughts on the Impala is it's super quiet. We can have a conversation in here, which is nice. Other than the other cars, you know, you can't hear anything. I know. So this is great. It's a great cruiser. It rides really good. Power steering works great. Brakes work good. I'm going to change the master cylinder because right now it's all original. It's got the single pot master cylinder. So we'll probably upgrade and put disc brakes on the front with a dual pot master cylinder. So in case, you know, something fails front to rear, we won't lose all the brakes completely. But man, I can drive this all the time. This is so great. So the last time I drove this car, I was 13 years old, believe it or not. You don't know how old I am? Come on. Today is my birthday, and you don't know how old I just turned? What? Did you say 55?
I said 85.
No. I thought you were serious for a minute.
I am.
I'm 39. Even though I look 55, I'm only 39. Man, power steering. This car just works. I mean, it's all factory. It should work. So I think the guy I bought it from, I want to say he cut the front springs, lowered it a little bit, but luckily it still rides really good. So yeah, I need to finish putting the dash together. Got to put the glove box back in it. I need to find a radio. They lost the radio when they took it apart to paint the dash. So I need to get an aftermarket radio that has like Bluetooth built in so we can listen to our tunes. I would call that a successful test drive. What do you think, Luke? Car drives like it should. It's nice and quiet. Super comfortable. I need to get the air working on it. And yeah, this thing's a cruiser. It's the quietest thing we own in the whole fleet. Even quieter than my regular truck. Crazy, huh? All right, successful test drive. Impala done great. So thank you guys for watching. I have big plans for this car, so we'll keep chipping away at it. But right now, I'm gonna call it good, and we'll start driving this thing. So catch you guys later.